On the 12th of the 12th, at 12 minutes past 12, the Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD campaign is open for everybody. Yes, they are finally releasing the first open alpha of the Medieval Kingdoms 1212 campaign after almost 5 years in development, and my god, am I excited to have you guys stop pestering me asking when the campaign is coming out, because you can go ahead and download it right now. I'll leave a link down below in the description with instructions on how you can get your hands on the campaign, but it should just be on the Steam Workshop, really easy to get your hands on. And yeah, what an exciting time that this mod is finally making its debut to everyone. Now do keep in mind this is an open alpha, the campaign itself isn't done. I think they said in a recent Reddit post that the campaign's around about 50 to 60% done, so there's still a ton of stuff that they want to add to the campaign. It's just at this point they feel like it's in a ready enough state for people to play and have a good time without being swarmed by bugs and other stuff, you know, and incomplete features. But do keep in mind that, as I said, this is an open alpha, the campaign isn't done. If you guys want to help out with this project, they are desperately looking for more UI artists to create UI art, as well as building 3D modelers. So if you can make yourself if you can make a medieval house, or even just like a fence, or, you know, small assets, it doesn't have to be a huge castle, then go and hit them up on the Discord. You can see the link to it right here, and I'll stick it in the description as well. As well as that, if you run into any bugs, help out the team, go and report them over on their Discord, and also just go over to the Discord and say well done guys. They've been spending so much time on making this mod. You know, for the first 3 years they basically solely focused on just creating a expansive roster. And when I say expansive roster, it's massive. We'll take a look at it in a second, because I'm sure you guys are already like minimize my tab and run off to the Steam Workshop to go and start downloading it and just got me on in the background. But yeah, we'll take a look at all of that. Like, it's actually insane how varied every single faction is, and there is 57 factions in this campaign, which is just mind-blowing. That is so many factions, and all of them have very unique rosters. Many of them, like a lot of them, have various script mechanics which kind of give them a unique playstyle, and they're only going to add more and more of these scripts into the game as it goes forward. However, some of the notable things they really want in the campaign but are not quite there yet is the expansive technology tree. I believe there's only the early period technology in the game at the moment, but I do plan on obviously expanding that, and the technology has been put back down to 1 turn per year, so it's a lot quicker to get, so it actually is a lot more functional in the game right now. Naval units aren't quite in the mod yet, mercenaries aren't in the mod yet, and the really awesome HRE system isn't in there yet. It's basically like playing Europa Universalis 4. Like, it's just insane what the scripters, or basically D Trooper, has done with the 1212 campaign. Like, the entire team have just done such an amazing job. Because Attila, and this is something I feel like I have to mention every time, because a lot of people don't know this, Attila does not have good mod tools. Even the easiest processes take a long time, they're tedious, and yeah, the mod tools just aren't good. So the fact that they've managed to create basically Medieval 3 is just, yeah, mind-blowing. So I have to give a big shout out to everyone in the team, every modeler, every scripter, every coder, every UI art, like everyone. You guys have done an amazing job, and make sure, as I said, guys, go over to the Discord link and just give them a well done, because they've poured hundreds, thousands of hours into this mod, and yeah, it's really awesome. So go check it out as well. Obviously, they give a big thank you to everyone, and if you want to discuss more stuff, as I said, go over to the Discord. So, as I was saying, there are 57 factions in the game, and there's also a ton of emerging factions here as well. Like, look at like every faction. The Ayyubid Sultanate is completely different to the Abbasid Caliphate. You know, they all have different units. Aragon is completely different to Toulouse, who is completely different to Burgundy, who's completely different to Poland. You know, there's so many factions, and even the factions within the similar culture groups have varied units, so it doesn't feel like you're just playing a HRE clone. It doesn't feel like you're playing a Spanish clone or anything along them lines. You know, every faction feels unique, every faction has a very large roster, and they're also, you know, constantly going back and revamping these units and making them very interesting. So yeah, let's dive into the campaign now. I can show you guys some of the amazing features that it does have to offer. And oh my god, it's pretty overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. Look at these factions. As I said, 57 of them are playable, from the Abbasid Caliphate all the way down to the Zengrid Atabegate. Probably butchered that. But these guys are like up in, is that like Crimea area? Probably around them sides. There's so many factions. You've got Georgia here, Teutonic Order, the Grand Duchy of Serbia, Sicily. Sicily have a really cool event at this time period. They're actually trying to overthrow the HRE, because the HRE has just been excommunicated, or the Emperor himself has been excommunicated, and Sicily's like in a scripted war. Oh, it's just really cool indeed. Obviously like Milan and Venice and Hungary, France, England, like it's just endless. It really is. So that's just absolutely amazing. I imagine as well they're probably looking for people to write these faction descriptions as well, so if you guys can help out there. Obviously every faction has its own kind of custom stats bonuses, which again is really, really exciting. I'm going to be starting a brand new campaign as well. The video will probably go up in like an hour's time or 2 hours time, so jump over there. I'm not sure who I'm going to be playing yet, because I want to hold off playing the HRE until that new system's in. I want to hold off of playing many of the Italian states until naval units are in. So I don't know who I'm going to be playing. Probably someone interesting. Maybe Hungary could be pretty fun. Maybe, yeah, I don't want to play the HRE quite yet. I don't know. There's a bunch of people I could play. Maybe like Croatia. Or maybe we just try and form a Byzantine Empire, because that's something you can do in this game. If we find someone who maybe not, who would be a good person to try and form it with, because I know a handful of these factions do have it. Can the Latin Empire? I assume the Latin Empire can they hold Constantinople, obviously. So let's jump in as the Latin Empire. You would have seen as well in the top left hand side it had a population, so you can see how many people that you have in each nation before playing, because population plays a huge role in the campaign. Obviously that's where you get your recruitment from. Various different classes affect various different outcomes in the economy as well, so like the more burghers you have, the more bonuses you get to commerce and stuff like that. Whereas obviously the more military stuff you have, the more bonuses you get to military. So here we go. We are now in the campaign. As always, that's a huge shout out to everybody here. Yeah, you guys have just absolutely killed it. Like, such an amazing job, guys. Just, you know, keep up the work. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to this mod release. So there's some really awesome mechanics in the game. The Pope, so you do also now have papal influence that you can spend on money and I'm sure other things as the mod goes on and on. Basically, the more Christian stuff you do, if you are obviously Christian, the more papal standing you do get, and you can obviously exchange that papal standing for other bonuses. It'd be really cool. At the moment, I think you could only exchange it for money, but it'd be really cool if you could get like a diplomatic bonus with every other Christian nation by exchanging this. You know, like the Pope has blessed your nation, and all the other Christians are like, damn, that Latin Empire, man, they're pretty sick. So you have a revamped, or like a papal standing. You have a revamped war wariness. So this is a lot more, I guess it makes a lot more sense, because I believe vanilla war wariness was like, the longer you're at war, the more unhappy your people are, even if you're winning the war. Now this is more, if you're losing wars, then your people get pretty pissed. You get negative bonuses to everything along them lines. So, yeah, I mean, what to look at first, right? So, obviously, Constantinople, this is also a really big feature as well. Also, let me turn on my reshader as well, because it just makes it look a lot better. Yeah, so every city is now its individual city. There are no more provinces. Does it look better? I don't know, we'll just play it like this. Every province in the game is now its individual city, so you can make every city into a Constantinople. You don't have to have these minor towns sitting out and not really doing much, so every city is as valuable as every city. Obviously, some will be better because they'll be a higher rank, they'll have a bigger population and stuff like that, but for the most part, you know, you can play a small faction and you can play tall, and it will be just as effective, because, you know, you're not having to just hold on to small cities. And I really like this system. I feel like it kind of fits a medieval world of having castles scattered around, and you can still have like a 6-slot big city or village with loads of farms and stuff to feed your empire, but it just makes sense, and I think it's really cool the way they've done it. So that's pretty exciting. To have every city individual by itself, I think that's really, really cool. Obviously, there are a ton of different buildings as well for every culture group. You're going to have castles, cities, you're going to have ports, you're going to have temples and mosques and orthodox cities. You're going to have a bunch of, like, there's just so much stuff. Like, look at all of this, all of their own custom art. You've got courthouses, you've got universities, noble estates, royal tournaments, and all of these buildings are going to be doing their own separate thing. I mean, obviously, agents. I think agents are pretty similar to vanilla, but this is obviously something they will look to change at. Obviously, all the armies, you've got different traits. I don't think there are custom trees yet. No, these haven't been revamped yet, and this is something I'm really looking forward to when they do get around to doing it, because I love skill trees, and I think the Attila skill tree is whack. Obviously, mercenaries aren't in the game yet. Decision tree. So you've got a huge old decision. Oh, it doesn't look like the Latin Empire can form the Byzantines. Interesting. But basically, you've got a decision tree, so when events and stuff pop up, you'll be able to make your decision here. You can form an empire. I'm going to change faction really quickly because I want to show you some of them, so we'll just quickly jump out and jump back in as, like, Epirus. Okay, so we've jumped back in as Epirus because they can now restore the Byzantine Empire, but they're not Christian, so they're Orthodox, so you can't see the wariness, but you can see stuff like this. You can reform the Byzantine Empire, which is very cool, and other factions have events to form kingdoms and empires, and their name will actually change as well on the diplomacy map. So you can see the Kingdom of Thessalonica forming into, you know, the Empire of Thessalonica, and, you know, other nations will be formed around the world, which is, again, pretty goddamn exciting. So we've looked at buildings, obviously, every province being individual. We looked at the decision tree. Population. Population is a huge mechanic in the game. So basically, whenever you recruit a army, I mean, look at this army as well from Epirus. Bad boy. But as you can see, at the moment, I currently have 5,600 of this certain class. There are 4 classes in the campaign, or for each faction. They're all different. They vary depending on what nationality or culture group you are. But every faction will have their own unique one. All my men come from this warrior class at the moment. And obviously, if I was to recruit men from that class, that would then take away the manpower from that class. So you're limited by your armies and stuff, by how much manpower you can get. And that's going to obviously depend on buildings. There's obviously going to be certain buildings that provide, you know, certain population groups and also growths that will be completely affected by that. So right now, the fort itself is giving a population growth of 0.1% to the nobility, 0.1 to the burghers, and 0.5 to the peasants. And if you want to take a look at the population growth, you can in the bottom left-hand side. You can currently see that there's 37,000 people in my city, 1,200 of them are nobility, 22,000 are burghers, and 12,000 are peasants. And then from that, I also get a recruitable population that I can then take. So obviously focusing on, you know, upgrading certain parts of your army, you're going to have to rely on population. And I think it's such a good mechanic for slowing down the player and making him actually have to develop countries and cities. You can't just go into foreign territory and pick up a brand new city, recruit an entire new army, because the population's going to be small. You've just conquered it. You're going to have to build it up and spend some time, which is just what I absolutely love. And one of the amazing scripts, like, this is so awesome. I don't know if you guys get as excited about UI as I do, but look at that. I can now click this button and it will run through every single population group and tell me how many are being produced every turn, what are the effects. You know, I can see right now that I've currently got a soft cap on the burghers, so I need to upgrade this fort to improve my population soft cap so I can get more of them, because it's a 50% debuff to them. And that's just insane. Like, being able to do this is something I wish we had in Divide et Impera, because it's just amazing. Like, this is my favorite feature in the entire campaign. Being able to click through this, it's just such a great UI way of presenting this. So it's just so goddamn impressive. And I think that's basically everything I want to run through in the campaign. Obviously, there's so much more. Oh yeah, technology as well, obviously. So you can see that the campaign has now been, the turn times have now been affected, because previously it was 4 turns per year, and now it's 1 turn per year, but you still get every single season. So the reason they've decided to go for 1 turn per year, but every season, is because they want to show a larger part of history. They want to go from the year 1212, I think, all the way up until the late period of the medieval era, so like the 1400s. They want to go through like the Black Plague and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's one of the scripts tips as well is the Black Plague is in the campaign, and it just devastates the whole of Europe. Like, you get huge debuffs, I think, for like 20 to 30 turns of, you know, decreased population growth, hardly any food, people dying, attrition, no money. It's brutal, and it's just awesome again that type of script is in the campaign. Is there anything else I want to mention? Diplomacy, I don't think there's... I mean, obviously, they've changed up relationships and stuff like that, but I think, for the most part, it's, you know, fairly similar to the vanilla style. I don't think there is much else I want to show. Oh, no, we're not Christian, so I can't even show you guys. I was going to show you guys the 5th Crusade script that fires pretty quickly, but we're on an Orthodox country right now, so you can't really see that, obviously. Maybe we'll get an event, though. Yeah, maybe we'll get an event showing it. I don't know, we'll take a look, because it does normally fire pretty quickly. Again, so you can see, like, the years going around. I think maybe it's, like, turn 2. Obviously, also, you have governors and stuff, so governors are pretty fun. Because the thing is, obviously, every province or every city is its individual province. So you're actually going to have governors of cities, and you're going to have to pay attention. You know, when you start to get 5, 6, 7 cities, you're only going to be able to govern like a handful of them, and that's going to be interesting. Obviously, you know, family trees with all custom portraits and stuff is very, very exciting. Control and stuff are fairly similar, but yeah, as I said, we'll leave it there, guys. But like, there's so much in this mod. Go check it out. Go show some love to them over on the Discord. Rate the mod on the Steam Workshop. Like, this is insane. There is so much here, and it's only going to get better and better. Obviously, every single update is going to add new additional stuff to make the campaign even more enjoyable. And it's just so exciting to see, you know, a game like this just continue to improve. There you go. The 5th Crusade has been called. If you're playing as a Latin or a Christian nation, you get a really cool cutscene. Cutscenes are in the game as well. Like, that's... Oh, man. You can tell by my voice and how fast I'm talking about just how sick it is. So the way the Crusades work as well is, I can't show you guys because I'm not a Christian faction, but basically you'll get a button right here and you'll click it and your army will join the Crusade, kind of like in Medieval 2, and then you have like 10 turns or something to go over and yeah, try and take on the Ayyubid Sultanate and invade. And obviously everyone else, you've got, you know, messages saying about Pope Innocent has claimed or started the Crusade. You can see Sicily joining the Crusade and stuff like that. So yeah, it's sick. Go check out the mod, guys. Go show them some love. Go and also check out my new campaign. I'm not sure who I'm playing yet, but I will be playing as someone pretty interesting, I'm sure. Maybe we'll just play as Epirus and try and form the Byzantine Empire, because that'll be a fun campaign, I think, to do. But I'll have a think about it. Drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.